All right, divas, it's the bonus part 4 of boundaries.
Boundaries, boundaries. So we did talk about emotional, we talked about physical. Now we're talking about,
Financial.
yeah, super important here.
Super important.
For a lot of reasons. We're middle-aged, dating later in life people. We have worked our whole life to get where we are. We don't want to be scammed. We don't want to. We have children that we want to honor and maybe leave a legacy for. There's a lot going on here for you to be aware of. But you also want to make sure that you're on the same page.
Yes.
Now, for me, this was super important with even my late husband and even my now husband, Jeff.
That's me.
That our finances were going to be together.
Yes.
I was not looking to have a separate bank account.
No.
But it also must say that I didn't have biological children of my own. So this made it a little easier for that. But I also felt strongly, I'm old-fashioned that way, and I wanted to make sure, and that was rolled out over time, that we were on the same page with that.
Yeah.
And apparently we were.
No, we were. What popped into my mind, there are big things like that, but there are also little things. You go out on the first date, he pays.
Yes.
If he's not going to pay, he's gone. He's out.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of guy that you want to be with. Why? Because it goes back to how he sees you and values you.
Yeah.
We've all, and probably all of you, you collect something. I knew a woman in my church, and she collected fine bone china. And when she saw a little trio that was for sale, that was a great price, and even if it was one she wanted, she didn't care about the price. She would come up with the money and she would scoop it up.
Right.
Why? Because she saw value there.
Where she saw value.
And if a man takes you one out and he sees value, a real man will not let you pay.
Now, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that there were dates that Donna would go on, and she would say, well, do you want to split it? And to the guy's credit, the one I'm thinking of, he goes, Donna, this is a date. You don't split. I'm paying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was my first date out there when I was like in my early 40s. You can read about that actually in my book, the link's below. And I was so anxious about that particular who pays and what's that about, and that I offered against all of my girlfriend's wishes. And then I never offered again. Now, we're going to get some people who are going to say here, mostly men actually who watch this channel, say, no, you know, it's a split, or whoever asks who out, you're going to do it. Like I had a comment one time that the guy said, if a woman asks me out, she's paying, that's it. And I said, that's fine. First of all, you're right. I'm not asking a man out. Okay?
Right.
Why? I'm old-fashioned. I want to enjoy a traditional heterosexual relationship. That's what we're talking about here.
Well, and your grandma said, let the one who wants you catch you.
That's right. That's right. Go,
great
Grandma.
Advice. Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, good stuff. And also, the men that I've encountered as I became stronger in understanding who I was and my value, the men that I attracted were men who wanted to pay. They wanted to take care of me. And I actually had a client, as you know, we talked about her before, who said, I don't need a man to financially take care of me, but I want a man who wants to. We can give you tons of stories about this.
And we're talking about a woman that's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
She did not need anybody to pay for her. That's for darn sure. But, like she said, she wanted a man who wanted to do that for her.
Right. Now,
wanted to spoil her. Wanted to, because again, if he's...
Who doesn't want that?
Well, yeah. Well,
if you don't want that.
If he's not going to pay for dinner, he's not going to pay for flowers. He's not going to pay for a lot of things.
Right.
And if you set the precedent, which Donna talks about all the time, where it's a 50-50 split, if you guys do get serious, guess what? It's going to be a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
And we know couples like that. I pay the rent, she does the car payment, this, and they don't even know what each other really has in their accounts or what the financial situation is overall. It's crazy.
Now, that's not wrong if that's what you want, so
Yes.
just make sure you're clear about that. I will say that even with my late husband, we were together with our finances, and I'll never forget, before we actually were married, he said to me, if we don't make it, actually he had a very heavy Italian accent, so it sounded more like, if we don't make it, that's what it sounded like.
Baby, if we don't make it.
Right. He said, if we break up, you get everything. And I said, we are no longer spring chickens. So whatever we have will be split because neither one of us are in a position that want to start over, right? And now we're in our, that time he was 62 or a little older. He was older than I was. So you just want to be clear about that. And by the way, just since we're talking about finances, Jeff and I, which you don't know because we've never mentioned it, we are actually legal reps. And I bring that up because when I was married to my late husband and he passed away, we had an insurance policy on him and they did not want to pay. They declined the
policy.
Policy. Thank you. That was the word I'm looking for. And so I was able to turn to my resources, which the link is below, and ask my attorney without paying extra, am I being treated fairly? Is this correct?
Yeah.
And they were able to review the contract. They were able to write a letter for me, all at no extra cost.
Yeah.
And then 10 days later, after his passing, I got over $13,000 in my bank account.
Yeah.
So this is an important resource. I want you to know that we offer that's below the link. If you have any questions, obviously let us know. But these are great examples of financial security.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you have kids. Who knows where you're at in your life?
If regardless of where you're at, you should have 4 things in place. You should have a will,
right?
A living will, durable power of attorney, and this is an extremely important one. Actually, it might be the most important, a medical power of attorney.
Yes.
If something happens to you, if you do not have a medical power of attorney in some states, especially, you will not, the hospital and the insurance companies will make decisions on your behalf, it will be on their behalf.
Right.
So,
and thank you for bringing that up. We actually had all of that comes with the plan as well. It's a membership. I'm so grateful we had that. And I actually know somebody who's in another state. And by the way, this plan covers us nationwide in America. Okay, we're talking about, America and Canada. I know somebody who never married her boyfriend. She was in a state that was a, what do you call when you're not married but you're living together long enough?
Yes, that.
That one.
Yes.
Somebody drop that in the comments if you know what we're talking about. So guess what?
We do too, we just can't think of it.
She had to pay because they lived in that state because they lived together longer than 7 years. They treated it like real marriage. They got a divorce, and because she was supporting him, she had to pay. So always protect yourself in that manner. We offer that resource, and that's just part of your finances. Get your will done. It's all part of the membership. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very cool
What
stuff.
else financially do you want to share?
Well, no, I was, don't do this on the first date, but if it does go into a second, a third date, you want to be forthcoming and ask him about his finances.
Oh, did I ever ask you about your finances?
No, I told you.
He told me. I didn't ask. Because there's ways to find out things about people without asking.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Whether it's political, religious, or finances, there are ways to inquire and have conversation. Remember, you're having dialogue on your dates to find out if you're on the same page. Not the right page, same page.
There is a woman on YouTube, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. She is in her mid to late 70s, and she's making this video while she's out raking leaves, and she said, if a man comes up and he wants to get together with you and he ain't got 2 pennies to his name, she goes,
That was so good.
No way. He just wanted to come in and take what you've worked for all your life.
Yeah.
So there are things that you need to really
pay attention to.
Yep. And again, if you do have kids, especially older kids, the first thing that I guarantee you that they're going to be concerned about if you do have an estate is what's this guy and what does he have and what's he bringing to the table.
Do your research.
And if it's nothing, well, seriously.
Yeah.
There is the last thing I'll say, there is a passage in the scriptures that talk about being equally yoked, and when divas, if you've got quite a nest egg saved up and he doesn't, that would be something that you really want to consider.
Yeah, and if you're dating before you're serious, and within 3 weeks to a month they're asking you for money or for something, anything, don't do it. We did a whole recording about red flags, so you can go back and find that one.
He's gone, drop him like a hot potato.
Yeah, and if I can find the link, because I'm learning to be really techie, I'll put it below. But yeah, go check that out. At the end of the day, ladies, listen, hit subscribe. You know what to do. Subscribe, follow us, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, also,
it doesn't have to be that hard.